hovering over the Ontario City Hall. And they're doing so, I want to be clear, at 7:30 p.m. I just want to be clear, the entity is very much triggered when you're talking about what they're not going to do, and they are not going to steal $1. You're also not taking off over the 280 North Lemon Apartments. This is a senior citizen complex. There are zoning provisions where this is automatically unlawful. It's also relevant to what is clear evidence of targeting. It's occurring with regard to knowledge of everything that I'm stating, criminal surveillance, where the entity is stalking in this manner, hovering over my head, for example, at Nevada and Euclid Avenue, where I am south of this location. I am that direction, south of this location where the entity is hovering over me, and there's no takeoff here. There's no takeoff which would be east of the Ontario City Hall. That's University of Laverne. There's no takeoffs over the law school. There's no takeoffs over the City Hall. There are no takeoffs anywhere in this area, actually, because the airport is south of Hope Boulevard. And if you're looking at a map, the entity is necessarily psychopathic, obsessively stalking. These are demons who are engaging in what is criminal activity upon exposure to the world. This is what the Ontario Police Department are doing as well. They failed in their murder contract. Okay, you have a psychopath sitting here stalking in the dark, sitting on a Securitas golf cart, engaged in sexual assault and battery, and now is remaining engaged in criminal presence in the path, and doing so in the engineered light. Here's my shadow projected here. Here's my shadow projected over here. Here's my shadow on the floor here, where the entity is listening to me and then engaging in what are criminal elements of monitoring, which is stalking under the Constitution. It's stalking, and it's stalking, criminal surveillance, monitoring, doing so in furtherance of murder. And you're not stealing $1 while you're gang stalking in front of the world. You're not stealing $1 anonymously either. You're not stealing $1 from me while you're still gang stalking, and the evidence that you've been stalking and targeting with the purpose of trying to get away with murder is already online. Let me show you this. This is what the entity is doing over here, stalking. There is no takeoffs over here. So this is where this is P.O.C. I just want you to see that. That audible activity is demonic. It's not the sound of the plane. That's the entity that's engaging while they're listening to me, and they're engaging in a cartwheel now because I'm honing in on where they're quote unquote taking off from. The airport is south of Hope Boulevard. You're not engaging in anything other than stalking over here. And it's very obvious also when I'm at Nevada and Euclid Avenue and they're flying over the top of my head while I'm walking through the neighborhood. This is the entity that's engaging in stalking while they've invested in my murder as a police department and as an airport. The Ontario International Airport, the Ontario International Board, the Ontario Executive Team. I'm going to prosecute the government. Terrorists are going to prison and they're being deported. People like Otif El-Kadi, if he's not a natural born citizen, he is witnessing what is the basis to deport him out of this country as a terrorist that's actually engaged in criminal surveillance, not a CEO of a so-called airport that's engaged in stalking me, and so is every airline. This is an entity, like I stated before, and is triggered by the truth that I'm speaking, because you're not stealing $1 anonymously. You're not going to steal $1 while you're gang stalking. You're not keeping the money that you already stole either. And you're going to prison for stalking in planes and helicopters while you're simultaneously being diagnosed. This is P.O.C.